Morning everybody, I'm Benji Stute with Palm Beach County's Environmental Resources Management. We're out here this morning at Pine Glades Natural Area. So one of the things we want to do during this time when everybody's at home is give you all some virtual hikes. So that's what we're going to do this morning. We're out here, it's just before sunrise. I've got our wading bird roost behind us here at Pine Glades. This is a favorite for folks to come out either sunrise or sunset and watch the birds. So as soon as these natural areas open up, please come check out all the wading birds coming into the roost here just southeast of the parking lot. But what I want to do today is have you all follow me around with my camera, and we're going to look for some interesting things this morning and hopefully give you all a little better view. To do that, I'm going to be shooting photos and then showing you all as we go. So right now in the background here in our roost, we've got a bunch of cattle egrets that are being lazy. There was a bunch more birds to begin with, but the cattle egrets are being lazy, and there's some anhingas up there as well. So to bring you guys a little closer, this is kind of what we're going to be doing today. All right. So right here, you guys see this anhinga that is sitting up right at the top of a tree there. Anhingas are really cool birds. A lot of Florida natives call them snake birds. And they will swim in the water and catch fish. They're amazing under the water. That's where their real home is. You're gonna see anhingas a lot out on tree limbs and stuff drying their wings off, because unlike ducks and a lot of other birds, anhingas feathers actually don't shed water, and that helps them be able to swim and catch their prey. So come on out, stay with us here at Pine Glades. We're gonna have a lot of fun this morning. Hope you stick around. All right, everybody, so we're out here and I met up with Mark Cook from South Florida Water Management District. So Mark is an avian biologist with the district. He studies wading birds, and he often helps us out here watching our birds at Pine Glades Natural Area. So Mark, thanks for joining us today.
Very welcome.
So we've made it to this ephemeral wetland here in Pine Glades. So an ephemeral wetland is a wetland that actually draws down, the water draws down and can completely dry out during the dry season, which we're entering right now. But Mark, these wetlands are really important for wading birds, right?
That's right. Yeah, so these ephemeral wetlands, that basically means just they're a temporary wetland. They're not wet the entire year. And so at this time of year during the dry season, the area of water all shrinks, and that means all the fish and crayfish and all the critters that live in the water that the birds feed on, that they all become very concentrated, and that's when all the birds are able to feed on them. They can't feed on them when water's deep and the critters are spread across the entire area, but when it gets dry, all those critters become concentrated, and that's when the birds are feeding on them. And so what we have now is a whole bunch of different wading bird species. We've got some different ibis species, the glossy ibis, we've got some small herons, some snowy egrets, and little blue herons and triton.
All right, well, so I think we're gonna take a walk around the wetland, see if we can get some cool photos to show you guys, and see what else we can find around this wetland here, which is really just a magnet for the wildlife. So let's go check it out, Mark.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Mark, so what do we got flying right in front of us here?
So, yeah, we have a snail kite. Looks like a male. It's darker. It's sort of dark grey colour with a white band above the tail. So that's a male. We have had a whole bunch of these birds foraging here on the apple snails in these shallow wetlands. So it's perfect conditions for these guys right now to be able to feed on them and actually get those apple snails that are on the surface of the water.
Right, and so I'm going to be able to show you guys a picture here. And so here is what that bird looks like. So if you can see that, this is a male snail kite. He was just banking in front of us. And if you can see that really curved beak, that is what these birds use to forage, and they forage almost exclusively on apple snails. And so that curved beak helps them get those snails out of the shell so that they can feed. And if you can see those talons as well, they're really, really long talons, and those are specifically designed for this bird to be able to reach down in the water and pick up those snails. And now Mark has found something on the ground here.
So here is actually what they're feeding on. This is the apple snail. This is actually a non-native invasive species, but it's actually been the savior of the snail kite. The snail kite is an endangered species. The reason why it's endangered is because the native apple snail that we have here in Florida has declined dramatically because of the loss of wetlands and the degradation of the wetlands. But people released this exotic apple snail from the pet trade, from their fish tanks at home, and usually exotic species are terrible for the environment. We've heard all about the Burmese python and the trouble that causes. But at least for now, this invasive species has actually been the savior of the snail kite. It's enabled the snail kite to still feed on apple snails, even though its native apple snail has declined dramatically. There is an issue though. This still could have other issues in the environment, but at least for the snail kite, it's its savior.
All right, so Mark, we have got a whole group of wading birds that has come into the wetland here. There's a mixture of wading bird species. I'm seeing, we saw a wood stork there foraging. We've got great egrets, great blue herons, snowy egrets. So we've got a whole bunch of birds here. But what we just saw was a couple of those great egrets practicing some social distancing, right?
Right, yeah, and it's very apt for this time, right? So this is, if you can see here, this is what we have with two great egrets having somewhat of a disagreement about how close one should get to one another. And so these great egrets are quite territorial, even though they will actually forage in these large groups, up to 1,000 birds. They usually stay within about 3 or 4 feet of one another. And what they're doing really is they're just guarding their territory to be able to forage in. And that's kind of in complete contrast to some of these other species. And so what happens when one bird encroaches another, maybe a fish moves in the territory of another bird and it moves in, the bird whose territory is invaded will jump up and try to attack the other bird. Now they don't necessarily always touch, they just are showing their strength and say, hey, get out of my space. And that is very different from some of these other species. Some of these other species actually use one another to help them forage. So if you watch snowy egrets, a very similar bird, a smaller heron than the great egret, they will forage almost right on top of one another. And the movement and the chaos that the birds are all causing being in a group together scares all the fish up, and the birds can take advantage of that.
Awesome. All right, so we're walking around the wetland here, guys, and even if we can't see the actual animals, there's so much sign here of how alive this wetland is, and one of the signs is right here. So what I'm looking at here is actually an alligator track. And what we have here is there's a slight depression that runs along this way, and that's the tail drag. And then the telltale sign is actually a track right here. So if you come up over top, you'll be able to see this track here. And you can see each one of these toes. This is the hind foot, and that kind of heel pad right there. So that is an alligator track. That's definitive with the track and the tail drag. And if we come over here, Mark's found something as well. So if we come over this way, we're gonna see more sign of more animals. All right, so Mark, what do we got going on over here?
So here it looks like we have a turtle track of some type, probably a small cooter, and we can tell that, and if we look here, this is the actual track here. We've got you can see the flattened area where the belly rubs on the surface and the two parallel footprints to the side, and we can see here that the foot is actually pointing towards the water over there, so it's actually walking towards the water. So this guy was either out laying eggs in the night, probably over in the highland area over there where they lay their eggs in the sandy soil, or it's moved from an area that's, because everything's drying down right now, it may have moved from one temporary pool to this other larger pool here, so it can actually find some water to live in.
And so we've also got a ton of wading bird tracks here. There are little tiny pinholes all over in the mud in the edge of the wetland as well. And that's a sign of another bird that forages along the edges of wetlands, right?
Yeah, so that's a snipe, a Wilson's snipe. It's actually a shorebird. And these guys are kind of secretive. They feed in these muddy edges of the ponds, in amongst the grass. They're very well camouflaged. They're very difficult to see, and you usually only see them when they're flying off, when you've just spooked one, because they are so well camouflaged.
And they really like to wait until you're right up on them, and they give you a bit of a scare. So maybe we'll flush one up today.
Yeah, we'll try.
All right, let's see what else we can find. So, y'all, we saw the small alligator track over there, and right here we have an adult alligator. And so you kind of look at this track right here. This is the hind foot. This is longer than my hand. So here's the heel right here, and each one of the toes there. And then if you continue to come up this way, we've got a heel track here. And then the front track is right in front of it. You can see how different these are. The front track is much smaller. The toes are more splayed out. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the rear track is right behind it. But this is, again, a much larger alligator than the tracks that we saw back over there. So just another sign of really how well this ecosystem is doing. Whenever ecosystems can maintain, top predators, like alligators of this size, you know that there's an abundant amount of food here, which is a great sign. So we're gonna keep going and see what else we can find. All right, y'all, so I didn't mean for this to be a track hike, but we are seeing so much cool stuff around this wetland. So we've got another track here, and you can see there's this shape in the mud right along here. So, wondering if any of you guys can guess what that is. Now, if you couldn't guess, this is a snake track, all right? It's a snake track, and we can take an educated guess at what it might be. But what we can tell is that the snake was moving this way. And we can tell that because in all of these indentations in the mud is backed up over on this side of the track, which means the snake was pushing itself this way. And it was going towards the wetland there. Now, one of the snakes that would be right about the right size, and the fact that they're going into the wetland tells me that this was probably a water snake. It's a non-venomous species that we have here in Florida, an awesome reptile, but just another sign that even if we can't see them, this place is just chock full of life. So let's keep seeing what we can find. All right, so we're out here in another section of Pine Glades, and what you see in front of you is a pair of sandhill cranes. There's also, and I'm sure you guys can't see it on footage, but there's an alligator right behind them in the water. There's a great blue heron even further back. This is such a productive area, but I was hoping to see sandhill cranes on our hike today because we're standing in an area that's burned. So Mark, you got a photo of these sandhills, right?
I do, yeah, let me show you
So
this.
guys, check this photo out of these beautiful birds. Their color is just striking, especially on the head. And so one of the reasons that, like I said, I was hoping to run into these birds was because we burned this area, Mark, about 3 weeks ago. And fire is hugely important to so many species, but to sandhill cranes, right?
Right. Yeah, so fire is important in many habitats in South Florida for a number of different reasons. If you don't burn this area, which would naturally be burnt by lightning during the summer storms, the whole area would be covered in shrubs, and these birds would not be able to get access to their feeding grounds. So it basically chokes the area if you don't burn it. Also, the immediate benefit of burning is it opens it up, the new plants all start to grow, and that attracts all the insects and the things that these birds like to eat to feed on the plants, and so it allows these other small shrubs and succulent plants and herbaceous plants to come in to attract the insects and provide all the food for the birds.
Right, and so if you guys want to come on in here, and you can just see on the ground how much growth has come back in just 3 weeks time. And I love coming in, visiting these burn units shortly after they burn, because very often we will see sandhill cranes and just a myriad of other bird species and animal species using the unit. It's just so amazing to see everything come back so quickly. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the hike out here at Pine Glades Natural Area today. We're going to be bringing you a lot more of these videos as we're all trying to figure this new world we're in out. But we want to bring you experiences virtually, so please ask us questions if you saw anything interesting. Some of the videos are going to be a little longer like this one. We're going to have some shorter ones too, but the whole goal is to keep you all exploring virtually out here on our Palm Beach County natural areas. So we'll see you next time. Hope you had fun exploring.